most powerful earthquakes in the entire history of seismic observations. Earthquake in the North Kurilsk in 1952. The whole impact of the elements was assumed by the city of North Kurilsk, located in the island of Paramushir. On November 5, a powerful earthquake occurred in the Pacific Ocean, not far from the southern edge of Kamchatka Peninsula, with 8.3 magnitude on the Richter scale. Its focus was in the sea, 130 kilometers away from Cape Shipunsky at a depth of 2-3 kilometers. Kuril Islands, the peninsula of Kamchatka, Sakhalin Island, all of them belong to the Pacific Ring of Fire. This is the name of the region located along the periphery of Pacific Ocean and characterized by increased seismic activity. The fact is that it is located on the border of lithospheric plates. Watch the 102 release of Climate Control for more details about the Pacific Fire Ring. The earthquake caused tsunami waves up to 15-18 meters high, which destroyed the city of North Kurilsk and caused damage to a number of other settlements. According to official figures, 2,336 of the 6,000 people who inhabited the city were killed. Strong ocean level fluctuations were noted throughout the day on November 5 in the 700 kilometers coastline. In North Kurilsk, a rescue operation was carried out using airplanes and all available vessels. Then a significant part of the population was evacuated to Sakhalin. Much of the city infrastructure was badly damaged and could not be restored. The city was rebuilt anew. There is a port in the place of former town of North Kurilsk today. More than 60 years have passed since the catastrophe in North Kurilsk. Today, about 2,500 people live here, mostly engaged in the fishing industry. It was this disaster after which the government decided to establish a tsunami warning system in the country. Fourth place, earthquake in Japan, year 2011. An earthquake off the east coast of the island of Honshu, or the Great East Japan earthquake, occurred on March 11, 2011 at 14:46 local time. Its magnitude was from 9 to 9.1. The epicenter of the earthquake was identified 130 kilometers east of Sendai and 373 kilometers northeast of Tokyo. The epicenter of the most devastating earthquake was at a depth of 32 kilometers below sea level in the Pacific Ocean. This is the strongest earthquake in the known history of Japan and the fourth strongest for the entire history of seismic observations in the world. The initial calculations showed that it took tsunami waves 10 to 30 minutes to reach the coast. The height of tsunami waves was 35-40 meters. The tsunami covered a total area of 561 square kilometers. The number of dead and missing people exceeded 20,000. About 93% of those who died were victims of giant wave. Many houses and roads were destroyed. Tsunami literally washed away several settlements. An explosion occurred at the nuclear power plant in the prefecture of Fukushima. Japan did not know such a strong earthquake for the entire history, at least since the observations are being made. Third place, earthquake in Alaska, 1964. The Great Alaskan Earthquake is the strongest earthquake in US history. Its magnitude was 9.2 with an epicenter at College Fjord in the northern part of Alaska Gulf, 120 kilometers from Anchorage. The earthquake focus was located at a depth of more than 20 kilometers and was confined to the boundary of Pacific Plate submerged under the North American one. The earthquake occurred on March 27, 1964 at 17:36 local time. Although the earthquake was rather powerful, the number of casualties was small since Alaska is sparsely populated. Significant destruction occurred on the area of 50,000 square miles. A lot of trouble was brought by avalanches and collapses in the mountains. Railway and highway roads have become unusable. The railway in the state of Alaska has lost its sports facilities, bridges, and much more. Small houses located in the landslide area moved several meters in various directions. But due to the small mass and size, they were not significantly damaged, although their construction was designed without taking seismic loads into account. There was a significant change in the shoreline. Second place, earthquake in the Indian Ocean, 2004. The underwater earthquake in the Indian Ocean, which occurred on December 26, 2004 at 7:58 local time, triggered a tsunami. The magnitude of the earthquake was from 9.1 to 9.3. The epicenter of the earthquake was in the Indian Ocean to the north of the island of Simeulue, located near the northwest coast of the island of Sumatra, Indonesia. Tsunami reached the coast of Indonesia, Sri Lanka, southern India, Thailand, and other countries. The height of the waves exceeded 15 meters. The tsunami has led to a huge destruction even in Port Elizabeth, South Africa, at 6,900 kilometers from the epicenter. The earthquake was unusually large in a geographical sense. There was a rock shift of about 1,200 kilometers at a distance of 15 meters along the subduction zone. As a result, the Indian plate shifted under the Burmese plate. It was not a one-time shift, but it was divided into two phases within a few minutes. The total death toll was estimated at approximately 235,000 people. Tens of thousands were missing. More than 1 million people were left without a roof over their heads. Many countries have become more attentive to the monitoring of seismic activity after the earthquake in the Indian Ocean. They have also developed a public alert system and evacuation plan in case of danger. Work was carried out to inform the public. They taught the rules of behavior in earthquakes, tsunamis, and other cataclysms. Now detailed instructions can be seen even on the hotel doors.
First place, earthquake in Chile, 1960. The epicenter was located near the city of Valdivia, 435 kilometers south of Santiago. Strong shocks have shaken the territory of 200,000 square kilometers. About 20% of the industrial potential of Chile was destroyed. Continuous severe earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and the giant tsunami devastated more than 100,000 square kilometers of countryside in the Andes. Several cities were almost totally destroyed. Shortly after the main shock, the ebb began, followed by a tsunami which was moving at a speed of about 800 kilometers per hour. It struck the coastal line of Chile with the waves of about 10 meters high. After surging back, the wave moved in the opposite direction. 15 hours after the earthquake, the tsunami reached the city of Hilo in Hawaii, having traveled 10,000 kilometers at a speed of about 700 kilometers per hour. Then the tsunami waves hit California, which was 9,000 kilometers away from the Chile. The remnants of tsunami reached even the coast of Japan and Philippines. The number of victims was about 6,000 people, and the main amount of people died because of the tsunami. To understand how fast tsunami can spread, let's compare it with an average speed of a modern passenger aircraft, 850 kilometers per hour. The waves of the tsunami passed through the entire Pacific Ocean at such a speed. It would take it a little more than 1 hour to pass the distance from Paris to Berlin.
Hello, I would really like to share with you information about the interaction of people in extreme situations. I was born in Tajikistan. It was a very multi-ethnic and rich country, rich in nationalities. On October 13, 1985, there was a powerful earthquake. It happened at about 10 p.m. A roar was heard, a terrible roar of the earth. Nobody could tell what it was. After the roar, the earth began rocking. Everything was collapsing and falling down. We ran outside in whatever we had on. You no longer pay attention to anything. You just helped those who were left behind to get out. But, thank God, it did not happen where I was. I mean, everybody survived, everyone remained alive. Officially, they said it was 8 in magnitude, but in fact it was 9.5. The city of Karakum was simply wiped off of the face of the earth in a moment. I would like to tell you what my grandfather used to say when he was in military service. In the Ramit Gorge, there were 2 mountains, and there was a village right between those mountains. And during the earthquake, those mountains diverged, the entire village went underground in a single instant, and the mountains converged again. And it's like there was a village and then there wasn't, just an instant. And when all this happened, people rallied. Nobody noticed who is of what nationality, who is of what religion. And there were a lot of nationalities. There were Russians, Tajiks, Uzbeks, Kazakhs, Kyrgyz, Koreans, Germans, Poles, Belarusians. That is, they all united into a single whole. And at the moment, the concept of nationality was erased. Everyone was as a single whole. Everyone worried. People did their best to help each other. Help arrived immediately. There was humanitarian assistance. Volunteers arrived. And the city of Karakum rose like a phoenix from the ashes. Thanks to the help of the entire population, 10 cities and trailers were built where people lived. All conditions were created for people to live. Everyone helped as much as they could. But the most important thing, is that everyone helped each other regardless of religion and nationality.